In 1930, Joseph Force Crater, a New York Supreme Court justice, vanished without a trace, becoming one of the most famous missing person cases in American history. On August 6, Crater dined with friends at a Manhattan restaurant, bidding them goodbye as he headed toward the theater district. He was never seen again. His disappearance triggered a massive investigation, revealing odd details. Crater had destroyed files at his office, withdrawn a large sum of money, and appeared unusually anxious in the days leading up to his vanishing. Despite numerous theories, including foul play, voluntary disappearance, and connections to organized crime, no conclusive evidence was found. The mystery deepened with every passing year, and Judge Crater was eventually declared legally dead in 1939. His fate remains an enduring and eerie enigma. In 1922, Hinterkaifeck, a small farmstead in Germany, became the site of one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries. Andreas Gruber, his family, and their maid were found brutally murdered with a mattock in their home. Disturbingly, the killer had stayed on the farm for several days after the murders, feeding the livestock and eating meals. Neighbors reported seeing smoke from the chimney, and someone had recently moved into the house. Despite extensive investigations, including numerous suspects and even exhumations, no one was ever charged with the crime. Strange details, like footsteps in the snow leading to the house but none leaving, and the discovery of the family's bodies days later, added to the mystery. The Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of Germany's most chilling and unsolved cases. In 1981, 20-year-old Cynthia Anderson vanished from her law office in Toledo, Ohio, leaving behind an eerie scene. When coworkers arrived, they found the office locked, the radio playing softly, and Cynthia's romance novel opened to a scene where the heroine is abducted. Her purse, keys, and car were untouched, and there were no signs of a struggle. Strangely, Cynthia had been receiving unsettling phone calls and had dreams of being abducted. Despite extensive investigations and numerous theories, including a possible connection to a drug ring her law firm was unknowingly involved with, no concrete evidence emerged. The case remains unsolved, with Cynthia Anderson's disappearance continuing to baffle authorities and haunt those who knew her. In 1946, a series of brutal attacks in Texarkana, a small town on the Texas-Arkansas border, left the community paralyzed with fear. Dubbed the Phantom Killer, the assailant targeted young couples in parked cars or secluded areas. Over 10 weeks, he killed 5 people and seriously injured 3 others. The killer's identity remained a mystery, as he eluded extensive police investigations and manhunts. The attacks abruptly stopped, but the fear lingered, with the town implementing curfews and residents arming themselves. Numerous suspects were questioned, but no one was ever charged. The case inspired the 1976 movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Despite decades of speculation and numerous theories, the Phantom Killer of Texarkana was never caught, leaving an enduring, terrifying mystery. In 1975, the small town of Mount Holly Springs, Pennsylvania, was shaken by the mysterious disappearance of 8-year-old Gretchen Harrington. On her way to Vacation Bible School, Gretchen vanished without a trace. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no significant clues were found. Months later, her body was discovered in a nearby wooded area, but the cause of death couldn't be determined due to decomposition. Suspicion initially fell on a local man who had a history of criminal behavior, but there was insufficient evidence to charge him. The case eventually went cold, leaving the community haunted by the unsolved mystery. Decades later, Gretchen Harrington's disappearance and death remain an enigma, with no one ever held accountable for the tragic event. In 2006, the mysterious disappearance of Brian Schaefer, a medical student at Ohio State University, left investigators baffled. On April 1st, Brian went out with friends to celebrate the start of spring break. They visited several bars, ending up at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Security camera footage showed Brian entering the bar around 1:15 a.m., but there was no footage of him leaving. His friends searched for him inside the bar but couldn't find him. Brian's phone and credit cards were never used again. Extensive searches, including checking security footage and using cadaver dogs, found no clues. Despite numerous theories, ranging from foul play to voluntary disappearance, Brian Schaefer's fate remains a haunting mystery, leaving his family and friends without answers. In 1976, The quiet town of Whitehall, New York, became the epicenter of a chilling series of Bigfoot sightings. Multiple credible witnesses, including police officers, reported encountering a large, hairy bipedal creature in the rural outskirts of town. The creature was described as standing over 7 feet tall, with glowing red eyes and a powerful, foul odor. One notable encounter involved police officer Brian Gosselin, who claimed to have seen the creature up close. He described it as having human-like features and moving with incredible speed and agility. Despite extensive searches and numerous eyewitness accounts, no physical evidence was ever found to confirm the existence of the creature. The Whitehall Bigfoot sightings remain one of the most compelling and mysterious cryptid encounters in North American history. In 1980, 32-year-old Dorothy Jane Scott vanished under chilling circumstances in Anaheim, California. She had been receiving anonymous, threatening phone calls for months, with the caller professing love but also making disturbing threats. On May 28, after taking a colleague to the hospital, Dorothy disappeared from the hospital parking lot. Her car was found burning in an alleyway 10 miles away. For 4 years, her mother received eerie phone calls from a man who claimed he had Dorothy and alternated between taunting and professing his love. In 1984, Dorothy's body was discovered on a construction site, but the identity of the caller and the circumstances of her abduction and murder remain unknown. Dorothy Jane Scott's case continues to haunt investigators and her family, remaining an unsettling mystery. In 1966, the mysterious death of 18-year-old Robert Domingos and 17-year-old Linda Edwards shook the quiet town of Lompoc, California. The young couple was on a senior class beach outing when they were brutally murdered. Their bodies were found bound and shot multiple times in a remote beach shack, with no clear motive or suspect. The case bore similarities to the infamous Zodiac killer's modus operandi, leading some to speculate a connection. However, despite intensive investigations and numerous theories, no solid leads were ever established. The brutal nature of the crime and the lack of evidence left the community in fear, and the double homicide of Robert Domingos and Linda Edwards remains an unsolved and chilling mystery to this day. In 2000, Zeb Quinn, an 18-year-old from Asheville, North Carolina, disappeared under mysterious circumstances. After finishing his shift at Walmart, he met a friend, Robert Owens, to discuss buying a car. They were seen together at a gas station, but Zeb never made it home. His car was found 2 weeks later with its headlights on, a puppy inside, and a large pair of lips drawn in lipstick on the rear window. Strangely, Owens showed up at the hospital with injuries, which he claimed were from a car accident that same night. Despite extensive investigations, no evidence has surfaced to explain Zeb's disappearance. Years later, Owens was convicted of an unrelated double murder, but Zeb Quinn's fate remains an unsolved mystery. In 1992, the Springfield 3 case left the town of Springfield, Missouri, in a state of perpetual unease. On June 7th, friends Susie Streeter and Stacy McCall graduated from high school and celebrated with friends before heading to Susie's house, where her mother, Cheryl Levitt, lived. The next morning, all 3 women had vanished without a trace. Their cars were parked outside, and there were no signs of a struggle. Personal belongings, including purses and keys, were left behind, and an eerie voicemail was accidentally erased from the home answering machine. Extensive searches and numerous leads yielded no results. Despite the passage of time, the fate of Cheryl, Susie, and Stacy remains unknown, and the case continues to be one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American history. In February 1978, 5 young men from Yuba City, California, embarked on a road trip to watch a college basketball game at California State University. After attending the basketball game, their car was found abandoned on a remote mountain road, far from their planned route. Months later, 4 of their bodies were discovered in the snow, while 1 was never found. The circumstances were puzzling. The car was in good working order, with keys missing, and a trailer nearby had supplies they didn't use. Despite knowing the area well, their families were baffled by their actions. Theories range from foul play to a series of poor decisions, but the exact reasons for their tragic fate remain unknown, shrouded in mystery and speculation. In February 2000, 9-year-old Usha Degree from Shelby, North Carolina, vanished mysteriously. After celebrating Valentine's Day with her family, Usha and her brother went to bed. At 2:30 a.m., her father checked on her, finding nothing unusual. However, by 4 a.m., Ash's mother discovered her missing. The community launched a massive search. Witnesses reported seeing a girl matching Ash's description, walking along Highway 18 between 3:30 and 4:15 a.m. She wore a long-sleeve white t-shirt, white pants, and white sneakers. Despite these sightings, Usha disappeared without a trace. A year later, Ash's backpack was found buried 26 miles away, containing personal items and a photo of an unidentified boy. Despite extensive investigations, no further evidence has emerged. Ash's case remains one of North Carolina's most haunting mysteries. In 2008, the strange case of the Jersey Devil sightings in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey captured the public's imagination. Residents reported seeing a winged creature with a horse-like face, bat wings, and hoofed feet, said to emit blood-curdling screams. The legend of the Jersey Devil dates back to the 18th century, but the 2008 sightings brought it back into the spotlight. Eyewitnesses described the creature flying over their homes, and some even reported livestock being attacked. Despite numerous reports and investigations, no concrete evidence was found to explain the sightings. Theories ranged from a misidentified animal to an elaborate hoax, but the mystery of the Jersey Devil remains unsolved, continuing to intrigue and terrify those who live near the dense, foreboding Pine Barrens. Two Dutch students, Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, traveled to Panama to explore and volunteer in April 2014. On April 1st, they hiked the Pianista Trail but never returned. A massive search ensued when they were reported missing. 10 days later, their backpack was found by a river, containing sunglasses, cash, a passport, a water bottle, and their phones and camera. The camera had over 90 photos, showing the women hiking initially, but later bizarre and distressing images taken at night. Phone records revealed multiple failed attempts to call emergency services. In June, human traces were found, confirmed to be Chris and Lisanne. The discovered remains led to theories of accidental death, foul play, or animal predation. Despite extensive investigation, the true events of their tragic hike remain unknown.